Hey guys, my name is Tiana. Welcome to my channel, and it's kind of weird saying that because I did quit this channel 3 years ago, but just about 3 years ago. So there's a little backstory to that. So if anybody has been watching my videos from the past, I kind of just disappeared. So what ended up happening was in June 2018, I actually enlisted into the military. So I joined the Army out of Texas, and since then I've been to South Carolina, Georgia, and Washington. So that's going to be 4 states in 3 years, including Texas. So that's my little backstory. I have been active duty enlisted since June 2018. But a few unfortunate things happened to me while I was in the military, so I am actually currently being med boarded or medically discharged pretty soon. So that rounds my entire enlistment up to about 2 years and 7, 8, 9 months. So it's a little bit of a sad goodbye. I definitely do not regret anything, and I feel like now is a good time for me to kind of sit down and kind of get back on the web and share my experience in a little bit, hopefully to help some other people out that decide to join and make that decision for themselves. So today I'm going to do a couple tips, I guess, for the female side, because I know when I joined there wasn't a lot of information out there for me, especially with what to expect, what to bring, I had no information going in. So there was a couple mistakes I even made going into basic training that hopefully I can help other people avoid doing the same thing. So I comprised a list of the different things that I believe are beneficial or helpful towards any female, even the males could find this helpful, going into the military. So my first tip is do not overpack. Don't do it. When you get there, they will make you dump your entire overly stuffed backpack that you packed everything and your mother into because you felt that you needed all these extra things and you didn't. So I know that I had a ridiculous amount of stuff in my bag, and I remember when all the hustle and bustle and everybody's yelling at you and you're being shuffled through all these rooms, and then you get to this one and it's a big open space and they tell you to dump your bag. Oh man, in my head was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get all this back in here. It took me so long to pack that bag in the first place, and you were gonna dump it on the floor. You're probably gonna be told to throw away a lot of it because a lot of it is considered contraband or things that you are not allowed to have. So do not overpack. So yeah, just do not overpack is my best tip, is bring your undergarments, bring the pair of clothes that you're wearing. And for females, it goes into another one of my tips that I have is, oh my goodness, bring your own feminine care products. I cannot express that enough. So I packed one of those oversized jumbo, not the gallon size, but the step up from the gallon size, Ziploc bag. And I cram packed a whole bunch of pads of my choosing and tampons of my choosing. Because when I tell you, if you've ever been into a gas station and you get the tampons or pads that are in the gas station inside the bathroom where it's the cardboard wrappings and it's that really uncomfortable plasticky pads that most of us have had bad experiences with, that is your options pretty much. That is about the extent of your options at the shopette that I found, in my basic at least. So having that knowledge ahead of time from a couple of videos that I watched, I can tell you this, it was my saving grace having my very own feminine care products. Another thing is, do not let your family send you a care package with food. Just don't do it. Beg and plead. I know it'd be funny, but you will get smoked, which means they will make you push. You're going to do push-ups. You're going to get in trouble. Do not let your family send you food in a care package. If they want to send you toilet paper, that's fantastic. That's a great idea. My parents did that, and I ended up having an entire locker full of toilet paper, but you know what? It was a lot better than the tissue paper that fell apart that they have at the basic. So have care packages sent. That's a great idea, but do not let them send you food, magazines, anything of entertainment you're not allowed to have. Another thing that I have on my list is chapstick and sunscreen. Have chapstick and sunscreen. Those are your best friends. They're going to issue you sunscreen, and I do believe they issued us chapstick. I'm not 100% sure. This was a long time ago, but just in case, in my care packages I had chapstick sent to me, and I went through sticks like you wouldn't believe. You're gonna need the chapstick, especially because I went to basic training in South Carolina at Fort Jackson. Oh man, it was hot, and it was the weather was very back and forth. The temperature was high, and it was like freezing at night. All I gotta say is that my lips have never been more chapped in my entire life. I lived and breathed off the chapstick. So Chapstick and Sunscreen will be your best friends. Do not be like me and have the nickname Lobster because you burn the entire time. Yeah, that happened. So Chapstick, Sunscreen, do it. Another tip I have is bring, and this is males and females, bring wet wipes. Bring them. Or have them sent in a care package. I had a whole bunch sent in a care package. For females, I had the feminine wipes, the pH balancing ones, because when you're out in the field and you're having to deal with that time of the month, it is not fun. You need to have something to clean yourself up really well because you will not shower for probably a week or more. I've gone 30 days without a shower just in my time in the military, and it's not fun. Those wipes will be your saving grace, especially for anything that has to do with like your reproductive organs, like where you're very sensitive, like you don't know. Bring wet wipes. And that goes to guys too. I know a lot of guys and females that have to deal with a lot of the repercussions of not being able to clean themselves properly. So have wet wipes. You'll thank me, trust me. Another one that I was unsure about, especially going into the military as a female, and because I was on birth control for 2 years prior to joining the military, I had no intention of stopping it. So when you go into the Army, and if you're a female and any basic training, not necessarily specifically Army, but this is just my perspective from the Army side, as a female with birth control, I know from my experience, if you have a prescription medication and each bottle is labeled with a prescription, your name, such as birth control, it's on the package, they can't take it from you because it is a prescription that is prescribed to you by a doctor with your name on it. So you are allowed and authorized to have your birth control. That was a saving grace for me, mostly because birth control is a hormone and it can have adverse effects from stopping it. And also when you take it for so long, you're so used to it and you want to maintain that flexibility of the predictability is the way I saw it. It was predictable because of birth control, you know when you're going to get your period and you know when it's going to stop. And something like basic training where everything is kind of just sprung on you, that information is vital. You want to know when you're going to get your period. So maintaining my birth control throughout basic training was super important. So every morning I would go to my locker by my bunk and I take my birth control, and they weren't allowed to take it from me. I actually had a female drill sergeant that went with me to go get my birth control because initially they did tell me I can't have it, so it was locked away. So she took me to actually go grab it because she corrected the male drill sergeants and said no, she's allowed to have that. So you can have your birth control. A couple people say you can't, a couple people say you have to get it prescribed through the military. In my experience, that's not true. I was, in fact, allowed to have my birth control. It took a little fighting, but I did have it. And then another tip I have is don't think too much. Honestly, don't. Like, stay motivated and don't think about it too much. If you try to make sense of all of the punishments you're gonna get or everything that's going on, you're gonna drive yourself mad. I have seen grown women cry their eyes out in a ball, breaking down because they overthought everything and they're sitting there saying they can't do it. Like, it is like, I'm a tiny person and I managed to complete basic training without a mental breakdown. It's easier said than done, but the best way to handle that stressful situation that this is all a test. They're testing you through this. They're putting you through this high amounts of stress on purpose. So do not overthink it. Don't try to make sense of it. Your job is to take orders and do exactly as they say. And if you can remind yourself that and keep that in mind, that you are there to take orders and just to do as you're said, do as you're told. Like, that's about it. Just do as you're told and don't overthink it. Like, mentally, you'll be way better off because we want to make sense of things, but at basic, Just don't. There is no sense to anything. There's a whole purpose at the end, but a lot of times in the moment you're gonna get in trouble for some crazy stuff and you're just gonna be like, man, screw this, I hate my life, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, they're just so dumb, they don't understand, and you're gonna have all these things going on in your head. But honestly, just like try not to think about it too much, because that's how I made it through it. I didn't focus on anything. I didn't focus on anything that was going on. I have a hard time even recalling anything that happened, because in that mindset, you have to become a different person. And so that's one of my biggest tips is to don't overthink and stay motivated towards the end goal. If you stay motivated and you don't let yourself get down and overthink it, you'll actually start to enjoy it, because I actually enjoyed basic training by the end of it. My last two, one of them is drink water. Like, seriously, drink water. I know you have all the army jokes, drink water, and it's like, beat the heat, drill sergeant. Like, that's a real thing. But the thing is, they drill that into your head of drink water, because you will not believe the never-ending rotation of ambulances and first responders we had coming through the barracks, or the bays, whatever basic training calls them. We had our company barracks. So we had the platoon lines out there on the bottom where we'd stand out every single morning and we do workouts and PT, and you will not believe the amount of ambulances that we had, the EMS is coming through on a rotation, picking up people that drop like flies, because people in your basic will drop like flies because they're not hydrated, they're not drinking much water. So drink water, and when you eat salt. Put a little bit of salt in your water too. You need to be able to retain that water, because being hydrated will actually, like, I don't mean this to sound dramatic, but it will save your life. Drink water. Like, even before you go to basic training, get hydrated before you go, because your body needs to, you're gonna need it. You're gonna be pushing your body to the limits you never thought you could go to, and you're going to need to be hydrated. Like, I know they say drink water, but like, seriously, drink water. And the last one, and this is the biggest one that a lot of people have a hard time with in basic, and you'll find that when you go through, is stay calm. Like, don't stress, stay calm. In situations where they're yelling at your face and they're getting at you and they're spitting in your face and you don't really know what's going on, it's all kind of chaotic, like, stay calm. Do not react. They want you to react. That's the test. But you need to stay calm. Even going into it and going out of it, stay calm and remember why you're there. Remember why you joined, and remember your purpose, because at the end of the day, you joined the military to serve the country. You joined the military to better yourself. You joined the military to go to school. You joined the military to better your family. Whatever reason there was behind you signing that dotted line, hold on to that and stay calm. And just remind yourself, like, it's going to be okay. I promise, it's going to be okay. But yeah, so if there's anything else that y'all want to add to this, or any questions that you have regarding basic training in the military, feel free to ask below. I will happily answer any of your questions that you have, especially if it has to pertain to basic training, because that is the big mystery and that we all don't really know much about. And you can prepare, and I can give you every tip in the world, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be a mystery. But it's definitely an adventure, and it's something that you'll look back on and be happy you did, because even to this day, I look back on my basic training and I'm happy I did it. So I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I hope this was beneficial, to say the least, for anybody wanting to join the military. I was in the Army. Well, I'm leaving the Army, so yes, I was in the Army. And it's an adventure. It's a fun ride. So if y'all enjoy content like this, please subscribe. I will be back next week with more tips and tricks towards the military. And hopefully I can answer some of y'all's questions. So thank you again for watching, and if y'all enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.